Solve This Murder. I'm your detective, Bill.
And I'm your crime scene criminal and witnesses, Dani. We're on part 4 of 5 Little Pigs.
In part 3, I talked to Cecilia and discovered the evidence that she thought incriminated Caroline actually made her seem innocent.
We learned that young Angela enjoyed pranking Amias and got in a terrible fight with him about him sending her to boarding school.
I then went to talk with Philip Blake, who told me that when Angela was a baby, Carolyn tried to kill her. Okay, I need to... Look, sometimes, just like you, dear listener, I get bothered by my own silliness. I understand. It's off-putting sometimes. I want to solve this case. I think weirdly, before I ask Philip Blake to expound upon what happened here, I'm not taking a 19-year-old attempting to kill their younger sibling as evidence that, 15 years later, she wouldn't be trying to protect the younger sibling. This could be some kind of instigating incident that leads to her feeling so guilty that she almost overcorrects in terms of protecting the sister. But also, what if it is a recurring jealousy thing? What if it's No, because Carolyn didn't do it. I don't know. We're going to learn some interesting things about these dynamics, and it's going to take some time to parse it together. In my head, if you try and kill your sister when you're a 19-year-old, which is too old to be jealous of a baby, maybe this swings back around and you hate that about yourself so much, you feel so guilty that you sort of overcorrect for the rest of your life and you end up going to prison to protect your sister from a murder she didn't even commit. I don't know, or maybe did. Well, there's layers to this. I turn to Philip Blake and I say, she tried to kill Angela?
Yes.
What are the details? I haven't heard about this at all.
Well, obviously the family tried to keep most of the details quiet, but I don't recall. She threw something at her or struck her with something. It might have been an iron or a fireplace poker, something to that nature. Ooh. But it hit her in the face reasonably hard and I believe gave her permanent damage. Permanent damage? Yes.
Was it something that you would... last I heard of her, I know she's currently 31 and she's an explorer. When she was 15, is it something obvious? Was it an obvious disfigurement, or was it hearing loss or sight loss or something like that?
To an extent, there was some visible damage that I recall, and I believe she was blind in one eye.
Oh, and if this gets to some point in this mystery where it's she was facing the battery and then something happened to the left of her and she looked at it and I have to pull some kind of 2-minute mysteries Sobel-esque, wait a minute, you said she was blind in her left eye. She couldn't look to the left. I'm gonna get mad. But all right.
And what's worse about all of this situation is that people might think of it as this was just a spur-of-the-moment flare of emotions. No, Carolyn wasn't like that. She got angry, oh yes she did, but not in an impulsive way. No, everything that she did would be well thought out and calculated. That's why poisoning feels just right for her.
I mean, based on your understanding of her character, I see why you would think that. Here's the only problem. No, I'm not going to give him the evidence. Look, or maybe I should. It's always so hard in these to think about what you're going to tell other people. Because I kind of want to... It's just nice to see what people say, but I don't want to give the evidence away. Maybe I do want it. What are they going to do? Kill me? You're not going to kill me. See, the thing is, Philip, Carolyn was seen putting Amias's hands on the beer bottle.
Well, there you go.
That did not contain any poison. The beer bottle was not the vector for poison in this case. So Carolyn was trying to cover up a crime that she didn't know the details of. She could not have poisoned Amias Crail. So I don't think she did it.
No, this is outrageous. I don't know where you're getting your information, but this is done. This is settled. It couldn't be clearer. If you had seen her in court, you would know.
Yeah, people talk a lot about her court appearance. I think she was taking the fall. But that's all right.
You don't need to wouldn't have tried to fight so hard to claim it was suicide then, would she?
That's also true. I suppose she didn't love going to prison. Listen.
Suicide, ridiculous.
So you do think suicide is ridiculous?
Without a doubt. It was not even faintly on his radar. Look, he was an absolute artistic genius. I don't understand art, but even I can tell. It's infuriating that this happened to him, but he absolutely would never commit suicide. Certainly not out of guilt about ruining the lives of people around him. No, he didn't have much of a conscience.
Let's talk about that guilt for a second. You said it was ruining the lives. What do you know about his relationship with Elsa Greer?
Look, normally, I'm sure you know Amias has had affairs before. He had. Normally he would forget about them after a month. Elsa was different. When she came to the house, it was clear that she had him. I didn't like her. She was obviously a gold digger, and she seemed a little possessive in that way. He was rich, he was famous, and she wanted that to be hers. She might have been better for him than Carolyn, though, because at least she might have gotten bored of him and set him free after a while. She was very pretty. She certainly annoyed Carolyn. She was quite rude. But they were definitely very in it together.
You thought so Amias returned her affection? You think he would...
Unbelievably so. He told me about his meeting of Elsa, said that she was unlike anyone that he had met before.
I want to ask you, the day before the murder, if you can cast your mind back into the depths of human memory, the night before there was a lunch, I believe you all attended.
No, I'm not the best at recasting these old memories, but you know what? Let me go upstairs.
Do you have like your diary?
Yeah, I'm an avid diarist.
Oh, I love an avid diarist. Oh, this is brilliant. That's some proper... Hey, everybody. When you're looking at, like, these personal recounts, especially when time has elapsed, memory is really not trustworthy. I'm trusting it for the sake of the narrative of this story, but in real life, you can't trust people's memory of events. They just invent new memories, not deliberately. People will just sort of fill in these gaps. Half the stuff you remember about your life is a lie your brain has told you to make sense of vague, old sensory input. Memory is bad. Someone who wrote a diary from the time is going to be so helpful. I love this. Please, Mr. Blake.
Right, let's get some
Give me some
page-turning
diaries.
Foley.
Thank you.
All right. So we are looking at September 17. Oh, I was clearly not at my most detailed at this point. I had other things on my mind, it seems. This is one of the more vague entries. But I do say things came to a head as Elsa mentioned moving in. And Amias stormed out of that lunch. I followed to talk to him.
Amias stormed out. Was that after the reaction to Elsa's comment, or was it based on Elsa's comment?
Let me think. It's frustrating when it's a part that I haven't written down. To my recollection, Elsa mentioned moving in, and then asked Amias to confirm it, and he said yes, and then left. And because obviously that caused a fight with Elsa and Carolyn. And he didn't want to be part of that. He didn't like his women distracting him.
God,
He didn't think much of women in general.
no, he's a bit of a bad guy.
He told me on more than one occasion, don't get married, don't do all of that. He shouldn't have gotten married himself. It was absolutely a mistake.
Do you think he was planning to marry Elsa?
He said he was.
Even though he didn't like marriage?
This is my opinion, that marriage was wrong for him.
Sure.
He clearly didn't think so.
So in your diary you said he stormed out and then he went to talk to you? About
And then
something?
I went to talk to him.
Do you know what you talked about?
Oh, I just wanted to get his head around things. I didn't think that... I thought that this was rather a mess of a situation. I just wanted to help calm things down. He was my best friend. But then, you know what? A few minutes after that, and I have this written down.
Oh, please.
A few minutes later, as we were chatting, Carolyn actually came out to the terrace to join us, completely ignoring what had happened at lunch, completely happy face. She was probably planning it already.
That makes some sense, except she didn't. It's so strange. She just acted as if it had never been said. Oh, this is so strange. Because that does feel like a person who's like, you know what? I'm going to kill my husband. And I'm locked in and I'm fine and I'm cheery about it. I'll pretend it never happened because it won't have happened because I'll have killed him. But she didn't do it. So...
To be honest, I scolded him a little. I told him he brought these problems on himself. Because that's what you have to do when you're a friend. He may not have been good with women, but he was a good friend.
Just, you thought he'd brought it on himself for bringing in Elsa, falling in love with her.
Yes, exactly.
Did Amias react in any way? Did he say...
Don't worry, I'm not really going to marry her. She's stringing her along till I finish the painting. Then she'll go and everybody's happy unless she poisons me.
Did he say that?
No, certainly not.
Did I do a good impression as well? Was that his voice?
Outrageous. He certainly did believe that everything would work itself out. He always did. He never thought about consequences of his actions. He specifically said he didn't think that Carolyn would be vindictive in divorce court.
Huh. Okay. I have a crazy question. Did Elsa ever specifically say, I am moving in because I am starting a heterosexual relationship with Amias? Or did she say, I am moving in to start my relationship with Crail? Wink, wink, it's Carolyn. Maybe Amias was the one who was getting left by his wife and she was going to marry, well, not marry, she was going to start a relationship with Elsa. Elsa and Carolyn all the way. That's why Carolyn was fine.
Well, maybe you'll have to ask her.
That'd be my first question.
I don't know if
I'll walk
Elsa
in
is
the door.
findable these days,
Like,
but...
Elsa, did you want to start a relationship with Carolyn Crail? Maybe. I could be onto it. I don't know the kind of politics that were present in these books.
Yeah, I'm still furious at... Well, her, obviously. I hate her for what she did, but I'm mad at myself.
Why do you think you could have stopped it?
Look, to be honest, no, Amias wouldn't have believed any warnings about danger, but I had all of the signs in front of me. I could have acted faster. I could have realised that Carolyn had stolen poison, and I could have done something.
Yes, she stole poison from your brother.
Exactly. Yes, I was well aware of that.
Did he know the poison had been stolen? Did he say, someone's taken my poison?
That's exactly what happened.
Interesting. And then that was before the murder, presumably.
Yes, that was... You know what? Flick through the diaries again. Yes, that was exactly it. It was the morning of. He gave me a call in concern and said that something had happened, that one of his poisons had been mislaid or misplaced, and was there anything that he should do about it? And we conferred, we met to discuss the matter, and we didn't come to any conclusions in a timely enough manner.
Did he have any suspicions on the day of who had taken his poison?
No, not at all. Not to my knowledge, at least. You could ask him, I suppose.
I suppose I'll have to.
I did suggest that perhaps Carolyn had stolen it to poison Elsa, or Elsa to poison Carolyn, but Meredith didn't seem receptive to either idea.
It is an interesting point, I say to the audience. We don't know if the poisoning got to its intended poisonee either. It may be that no one tried to kill Amias, and this was poison meant for Elsa or meant for... Though it was the drink he was drinking. Though, were they both having beer? Elsa as well? No, it was just him.
Yep.
That
She brought a beer down just for him.
But the glass was... Where did she get the glass from? Where did she get the glass?
His glass?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can answer that. In the battery garden, they keep some beers there. There's not a fridge, so it's always warm and uncomfortable, but he frequently drinks.
Wait, whoa, wait, hold on, wait, shut the hell up. Hold on, shut up. I swear that last episode, Cecilia made a specific mention of the fact that the beer was cold.
Yes.
And you're saying the beers are warm?
Well, no. The beers that are kept in the battery garden are warm.
But the
beers that are kept up at the house are cold and refrigerated.
She brought him a cold beer.
Correct.
Not the warm beer that was right next to him.
Correct, because it's disgusting.
But the glasses would have already been down there?
He had a glass that would have been his favourite glass.
She was filling a glass that he had already had previous beers in? Or...
Quite possibly.
She didn't bring the glass with her. She came with a beer.
Yes.
Okay, so I gotta reassess my understanding of this situation. I'm just gonna try and recount what I know. I'm painting Elsa. It's the day after I made a big announcement where Elsa said, "I'm moving in." And Amaya said,
That's right, she's moving in.
"I'm painting her the next day." I've decided whatever. That morning, Meredith said, "Somebody stole my poison." I'm painting. I've got a glass that I'm drinking stuff with. Maybe it was warm beer already, who knows? But I've had there's a glass nearby. And we take a break. Was Elsa there when the poisoning happened? No one was.
When the poisoning happened.
When he died, he was alone.
When he died, yes.
Right.
But the poisoning presumably happened. Like, he didn't just drink poison and die 3 seconds later.
That's fair. Okay.
When Carolyn came down to
Elsa was
deliver
there
beer, yes, he had been
okay,
he was
that's what I
painting Elsa at that point.
He was painting Elsa. Carolyn comes down and says, "Here's a cold beer, ice cold from the house." Pours it for him. He drinks from the glass. The glass had the poison in it, not the beer. He dies a little bit later. People are walking along. Cecilia and Carolyn walking down the road, the Battery Park Road. They split up. I'll go this way. I'll go this way. Carolyn walks in, screams. Cecilia runs in, sees Carolyn in front of Amias' body. Carolyn goes, "Oh, he's dead. Call a doctor." Cecilia turns to go to a doctor. Very quickly finds Meredith and says, "You call a doctor." Turns back, sees Carolyn putting his fingerprints on the glass. Not on the glass, on the bottle. Carolyn assumes, "Oh no, the beer I gave him must have been poisoned. Why don't I make it look like he poured the beer and I kind of get fingerprints off it?" Wiped it down to get hers or presumably anyone else's fingerprints off it. That wasn't how it was delivered. She didn't bring the glass. Oh, it's all so confuddling. The whole time as well, there was beer nearby that was not given to him. So...
And let's not forget the one extra fact of the bottle of poison was indeed found in Carolyn's room.
Carolyn had the bottle of poison in her room, and she even said, "That's mine."
She said that she took it.
I took that poison.
Yep.
If she thought... Let me get into Carolyn's mindset for a second here. I believe that someone, let's say my sister, but fill this in with whatever you want. I believe my sister might kill Amias. You know what? She's friends with Meredith. Why don't I go to Meredith's and steal any poison he has laying around so that Angela can't get it? Then, oh no, that didn't work. He has been poisoned. You know what? I better cover it up, make it look like a suicide so my sister Angela doesn't get blamed. This makes sense to me, but it's not a solve because I don't know any other confounding information that can confirm this. I don't even have an idea of the path I would take to confirm this, other than like go to Angela and be like, "Did you try and kill him?" And she'll go, "Yes." Other than a sudden confession, I don't even know the pathway to solid guessing. I might be ruining the pace of the mystery by having it solved right now out loud. I might have it, but I don't know if I've got it. So I need proof. This may be, if I'm right, this will be a mystery of confirmation, not a mystery of revelation. I know what's going on. I just need to make it true. But maybe I'll find something else that will be a revelation. Maybe my theory will be put on its head and twisted and turned like some kind of Hitmon top. So I'm back in. I just needed a break to make sure I was locked in to what this is and to help get everyone else listening up to speed. Okay, what do I want to ask Philly B? Philip, you've known the family for a long time.
Years and years.
What do you think about Angela?
Angela? Well, everyone loved Angela. She was mischievous and adventurous. I don't know much about what she's up to these days. Look, sometimes she went a bit too far. She would push Amias to an extent, and he would have to be somewhat controlling in response because, God knows, Carolyn never would be.
Yeah, she pranked him a lot, didn't she?
Yes, the
Slugs in the
slug
bed.
incident. Exactly, the first one that came to my mind.
What was the slug? Was that after anything? Do you know? Tell me, fill me in about the slugs in the bed. Were they metal slugs?
She was growing somewhat out of control. She was going to be sent off to boarding school. You know what? I do recall the night before the death. Let's see, did I write this down anywhere?
Oh man, I hope you did. I love a diarist.
At some point, Amias and Angela had a huge fight. that led to her storming off to bed. Oh, I included some choice quotes. That was exciting.
Me those CQs.
Angela wished that Amias were dead. She wished that she could punch him. She wished he would die of leprosy. And she wished that a sausage would stick to his nose. It was quite a scene, and after that lunch, we were already somewhat on edge.
This was right after the lunch.
Well, an appropriate amount of time after the lunch, yes. There had been things in between. Like in between that was when we all toured Meredith's lab.
Ooh. Wait, so hold on.
Oh, sorry, you didn't know about this?
Okay, you did a tour of Meredith's poison laboratory after the lunch.
Yes.
Far out. My God. Okay. Toured poison lab after lunch. Oh, who was on that tour? All 5 pigs?
All of us.
And what was the tour like? Did he specifically go to a case and say, and here's the hemlock that I don't keep locked up?
So, we went through the laboratory at the time, and of course he kept it locked up, but we all went inside, and would you believe? Yes. Largely that. He read passages from a book about, some Socrates or someone who died from hemlock.
Socrates?
Records of the agony that he went through as he died, yes.
Oh my God.
Famous quote. It was extremely well timed. Now, I wasn't paying much attention. I've always found that side of him quite boring.
Boring is the word you're going for? Okay.
Yes, I truly don't recall much about it.
I'm sorry. No,
he
wait,
blabbed about
Sorry.
his plants.
You've got a brother, and you went in and he said, now, here's the poison I keep on my shelf.
You have no
Let
idea
me
what
tell you
Meredith's
the
voice sounds like, do you?
The agony of Socrates. And you're like, well, this is boring. That's not the right reaction, man.
Do you have any idea how many dinners I had to sit through where he talked about the importance of collecting certain herbs at the gibbous moon and not the full moon? It was infuriating. It was so dull.
That doesn't sound like science. That sounds like mysticism.
He would try everything. If he considered, maybe the ancients knew something that we didn't, he would try to experiment with it. It grows very dull to someone like me. He's very lucky that he was the eldest son. He'd never be able to make money on his own. He is head in the clouds, man. He never should have kept anything like that. He always would have been too weak to confront anyone, let alone Carolyn, about stealing these poisons. He was basically a loyal pet to her. He's slow, he's cautious, he's indecisive. It was a mistake for him to have that hobby, and I think he'll agree with that as well.
So let me I'm just writing down what you think of your brother. I've currently got weak, boring, and useless.
Well, when you put it like that, it sounds mean.
Yeah, it does. But old as well. Older. Weak, boring, useless, older.
Only like 2 years older.
And did he inherit some kind of vast estate from your family?
Well, yes, the entire estate is his.
And it's vast.
Yes.
So there's
Somewhat.
2 of you with roast beef.
Oh.
Oh no, he went wee all the way home to his home estate. So I guess Cecilia just didn't have roast beef. Okay, I'm getting there. I mean, it's starting to sound... But you're saying... Sorry, he followed Carol... Did he have romantic feelings for Carolyn?
Oh. Romantic feelings for her? Well, look, I'm sure. He loved her in a way, most certainly, but to marry her? No, absolutely not that. Well, she might have tried to get her claws into him at some point. Oh, sorry. She was a not childhood friend, but in her young adult years when she was introduced to us. Oh, she was trying to pick who the best choice would be to go after.
Amias, you, Meredith.
Yes, well, not me. I was never really in contention.
Oh, I'm sorry, Phil.
Youngest brother, making my own way. I didn't have the land to my name. I wasn't I wasn't going to inherit anything, and she was interested in that. So it was the choice between...
I've also heard she thought you were weak, boring, and useless, but younger.
So it was a choice between Meredith, who certainly had more riches coming to him, or Amias, who was prospective famous. And she chose Amias.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're getting new character information. So we have a new angle, everybody. And the angle is Meredith in defense of his the woman he's obsessed with, Carolyn, that he always thought should have been his in the first place, that he's always secretly hated Amias for taking away from him, decides to kill Amias in her name after he insulted her honor? Kill Amias, she gets all his money. Marries you, you get all his money too. There's the scramblings and tremblings of a motive there. He does that to protect her. There's a lot of people protecting other people and thinking other people need this and that. It's like he says, he specifically calls the brother to say, somebody stole my poison. Not because it happened, because he's setting up his own alibi that he doesn't have the poison. Carolyn ends up with it from wherever it did go. And then she claims it was hers because she thinks she's protecting her sister. And Meredith has inadvertently framed the woman that he was trying to protect. I don't know. There's layers to this. I didn't expect there to be this extra layer here, but here it is. Oh, what if everyone's just happy? What if it was just like, oh wait, you love Meredith? Yeah, no, I love Meredith, and he loves me. Oh my god, I love Elsa. Oh really? Yeah, and she loves me. Oh, well that's cool. Do we want to get divorced? Yeah, she'll move in, right? Yeah, cool. Okay, this is all great. Cool. Just make sure you don't let Angela poison you. She wouldn't dare. Slug Girl wouldn't dare. I don't know, what if it was all fine? What if everyone was fine and then someone just died? Oh, man. Okay. Philip, you are such a better source of information than I thought you would be. Good work, Mr. Blake.
I appreciate
Philip,
it. Should you like more of the timing of Ed's?
You've got diaries and stuff.
Yes, and I apologize for the lack of detail
No,
at certain
your
elements.
detail is phenomenal.
But if
Thank
you need
Mr.
timing,
Blake.
I have timing.
Give me some... Okay. What kind of timing do I want? I don't think I need any... I'll come back to you if I need any specific timing. I think I've got a good grasp of the sitch as it is. We've got, painting, lunch with the announcement of I'm moving in, tour of the poison factory, night, morning, call saying this poison's gone missing, paint. Probably in the middle of the day, it's like, hey, it's hot, get me a beer, dead, discovered, doctor, etc. I think I've got the frame. When did he say, you're going to boarding school? I changed his voice. When did he say that to Angela? It was on the same day as the lunch.
Multiple times. But
there was an inciting incident? Was there some prank she pulled that was one step too far?
Most likely.
But you're not aware of it.
I'm going to say Philip is not aware of it.
All right, Phil. I've got to find out what this... Maybe Angela just knows what it is. Maybe she remembers her own childhood. All right. I need new people to talk to. Look, everyone at home, this is probably close to the end of an episode. But let me try and think this through. I think I understand the implications here. The lines I want to follow, I'm going to write myself some questions.
You're 2 pigs down. Only 2.
I've only talked to 2 pigs. Oh my God. What did Angela do? Meredith in love with Carolyn? Where was Elsa? I've got to talk to Elsa. Everybody's got roast beef, Dani, by the way.
Yeah, where are we at with the 5 pigs?
Okay. Market, home, beef, none, ran away. I think the rich guy, so one of the brothers, one of the Blakes, has the roast beef in the form of inheritance or some financial success. Went to market as a bride and married a bunch of people. That's Elsa. She's on the market over and over again. She keeps getting married. No roast beef. That's the governess.
Sure.
She lost her job after this whole incident. Stayed home. Oh, that's Meredith. He stayed home with the family. Roast beef is Philip. And so that means that the explorer went wee all around the world. I've cracked that case. I know which pig is which. I've got more pigs to talk to.
Mm.
I definitely want to talk to one of these 3. It's kind of arbitrary. I know I need to talk to all of them. There's lots of... I know... For Meredith and for Angela, I need to get into, the specifics of them being protected, angry, people would assume it could be them, it could be like, I need their reactions to everything. But I think for that, I kind of want a little bit more impetus of things to react to. I want to know a bit more about some of these details and opinions. And I think I might get more of that from Elsa. Elsa is so... I have no suspicion towards Elsa. Unless it's like Amias went,
Oh, by the way, we're not going to get married. I'm not going to do it. Tricked you, idiot. Ha 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 ha.
maybe she would have killed him in anger. But I don't really think that's true. Although she was there with the glass. Oh, she was there with the glass. She could have poisoned. I think it's less likely. I think she might fill in the gaps of like people and understanding. She might be hard to get in contact with now that she's Lady Dittisham or whatever she is. Is that right?
That is right.
Lady Dittisham. I'm going to call up...
She's married to illustrious poet and peer of the realm, Lord Dittisham, who is, as you find out from looking at some records, her first age-appropriate husband.
Oh, fun. I try and get onto the Dittisham estate.
It takes you a lot to acquire the appropriate permissions, but eventually you make your way to the fanciest of fancy houses. And you walk up the fanciest of fancy steps.
This is some roast beef.
You are greeted by the fanciest of fancy butlers. You do note, none of the stuff here is like the showiest stuff. It's not like everything is glazed with gold. You just happen to know everything that is there is capital T, capital B, the best.
Okay.
The butler greets you. And then Lord Dittisham himself greets you.
Hey man, it's me, Lord Dittisham. How you going?
Yeah, okay.
I'm a wealthy guy. No, please
Why
don't.
not?
No, please don't give him that
That
voice.
wouldn't be appropriate for a lord.
No, that was why I did it.
I understand you're here to see my wife.
I like him.
Please. No, not that she's weak, but I am hesitant to allow this. I do not want you to bring back any old trauma, for she is traumatized.
I understand, Lord Dittisham. I don't want to cause your wife any undue grief, but it appears to me that an innocent woman has been unjustly sent to prison and died. And her daughter, you know about daughters, don't you? You have a daughter yourself, I've decided, needs to get closure. And I think that your wife can provide that closure.
Well,
would it help if I say that she's not even on my list of suspects?
that hadn't occurred to me at all, but sure, let's go with that.
Wonderful.
All right.
What type of pig would you say your wife is?
Excuse.
Beef? Beefless? Home? Market? Does she wee?
He looks up ponderously. Never considered it.
But
You know
you're
what?
a poet.
Yes, let me retire.
You
to my
understand
let
it,
me
huh?
retire to my study. I'll put some thought into this one.
Thank you. I would love your input as to which type of pig your wife is.
Then some moments later, keeping you just that slightly lack of respectfully waiting,
Sure. 2 days later.
Elsa, Lady Dittisham, walks down the giant staircase to greet you. And the first thing you notice is she's in her mid-30s now. She is beautiful, but you can see in her eyes she is dead inside.
Oh, she loved Amias. Oh no, she loved Amias.
The first thought that comes into your head is Juliet if she had woken up and seen Romeo dead and then had to go on living her life.
Oh, she loved Amias. Thank you for listening to Solve This Murder. To submit your own guesses for whodunit, send an email to solvethismurderpod@gmail.com. We read every theory we're sent and award the greatest sleuth with a place on our wall of detectives. To support the show, you can sign up for our Patreon and receive weekly bonus episodes, monthly videos, and full access to all parts of new Solve This Murder mysteries on day one. Thanks to all our patrons for supporting us, thanks to Advanced Sagebrush and Shootouts for our theme music, and thanks again to all of you for listening.